What the first prophecy was in the Bible, but thousands of years older. Buried in ancient tablets, written in languages we barely understand, lies a warning, one that scholars ignored and rulers feared. It speaks of a world undone, of kings rising and gods falling, of chaos returning in cycles. But now, historians are whispering it might be coming true. If you're drawn to hidden history, forbidden texts, and the shadowed corners of prophecy, stay with us. Like, subscribe, and join us on this descent into the world's oldest warning. In the ruins of ancient Mesopotamia, archaeologists unearthed a set of tablets that would shake the foundations of religious history. Covered in weathered cuneiform script, they were dated over 3,000 years ago, centuries before the Hebrew Bible or the earliest prophetic scrolls. One tablet stood out, a fragmented passage from the Enuma Elish archive, hidden beneath layers of ceremonial ash. It spoke cryptically of the day of return, when gods would rise in judgment and kings would fall in silence. The line, almost erased by time, ended with the chilling words, "And the name forgotten shall awaken." The scholars were divided. Some dismissed it as mythological poetry. Others, especially fringe historians and forbidden archaeologists, saw something deeper, a coded message. Linguist Dr. Samuel Reinhardt devoted his life to decoding the full prophecy. Before his mysterious disappearance in 1997, he published fragments suggesting that the text contained not only apocalyptic visions, but references to celestial alignments and geopolitical shifts. Was this prophecy merely symbolic, or a transmission of something far more ancient and far more intentional? The fragments, translated by Dr. Reinhardt and later verified by Professor Leila Ansari of Oxford in 2003, unveiled a harrowing picture, one not only of doom, but duality. The prophecy speaks of cycle. When a star bleeds and the rivers run dry, two shall rise, one crowned in flame, the other cloaked in silence. These two entities, referred to as the twin kings, are destined to oppose each other at the climax of a cosmic upheaval. The king of fire, described as a bringer of order through destruction, is said to walk with thunder at his back. The king of silence, however, rules through memory and shadow, his name unspoken, his deeds unrecorded, yet his influence deep and global. Accompanying these characters are signs: unnatural storms, collapsing empires, a global forgetting of origins. A chilling verse reads, "The watchers shall turn blind, the towers shall tremble, and the seven gates shall unseal." Many researchers believe this aligns disturbingly with contemporary patterns, from failing institutions to mass cultural amnesia. Ancient celestial diagrams found alongside the tablets seem to correspond with astronomical events predicted to occur between 2020 and 2044. It raises a terrifying question. Is the prophecy unfolding naturally, or has it been remembered and revived by those who believe in its power? The connections between this ancient Mesopotamian prophecy and later sacred texts are more than coincidence. In 586 BCE, when the Babylonians conquered Jerusalem, they took with them not only prisoners, but also scrolls, relics, and perhaps ideas. Scholars like Dr. Ilana Meir argue that Ezekiel's visions, wheels within wheels, beings of fire, the fall of nations, bear uncanny resemblance to fragments from the tablets of Uruk. The Book of Daniel, written during the Babylonian exile, mirrors the structure of this prophecy. Dreams of empires crumbling, celestial beasts rising, a final reckoning brought by a hidden figure. Even Revelation, written centuries later, echoes symbols: the seven gates, the rising of a horned king, stars falling. Were these parallels accidental? Or had the exiled prophets absorbed fragments of a much older tradition? In 1934, a German historian named Karl Dotterlein secretly published a work titled Proto-Propheten, suggesting that early Hebrew prophets inherited an esoteric template rooted in Sumerian and Akkadian mystery schools. His book was banned, and he was imprisoned for heresy against national ideology, but his theory lived on in hidden circles. It's not just a prophecy. It may be the seed from which all others grew. In 2021, global flood patterns reached levels not seen since 1929. Fires swept across continents, and a rare planetary alignment matched diagrams found on one of the Babylonian prophecy tablets. Coincidence or resonance? The prophecy's mention of a rising shadow from the land of traders drew attention when economists noted the shifting global dominance from west to east. The phrase, "the name forgotten shall awaken," has been interpreted by conspiracy theorists to align with the return of ideologies, nations, or dynasties long thought dead. A controversial documentary in 2018 by Israeli filmmaker Gideon Kalish linked the rise of AI to the king of silence, arguing that our surrender to unseen, unrecorded decision-makers, algorithms, mirrors the prophecy's unspoken ruler. Meanwhile, symbols eerily similar to those on the tablets have appeared in protest graffiti, corporate logos, and even video game lore. The culture, it seems, is remembering something it never consciously knew. Are we walking into prophecy because it was foretold, or because we've been conditioned across millennia to fulfill it? One final chilling passage reads, "And when they forget they remember, the veil shall break, the stars shall speak, and none shall be able to close their ears." For centuries, the phrase, "the name forgotten shall awaken," puzzled translators. Was it a deity erased from history, a messianic figure, or something even more abstract, a symbol of hidden power? Recent scholarship suggests a chilling possibility. The name refers not to a person, but to a lost command, a concept, an ideology, a force meant to remain buried, something powerful enough to reorder civilization. In 2022, a controversial paper by Iranian philosopher Mahmoud Khwarizmi proposed that the ancient name matches phonetic patterns found in secret invocations of a pre-Abrahamic storm god, a force worshipped in pre-Sumerian ritual, deliberately suppressed by later religions. Khwarizmi argued that this forgotten name was not just suppressed, but cursed, forbidden from being spoken or remembered, lest it return and unmake what had been built. But in online forums and secretive spiritual circles, whispers have begun. The name is being said again, in symbols, chants, and coded texts. A final verse on the last tablet reads, "When the name is uttered by those who do not know its weight, the earth shall groan and silence shall become flame." Have we already spoken it? As scholars continue to debate the meaning of the prophecy, a new perspective has emerged. What if this wasn't divine warning, but a human instruction? In 2009, a sealed chamber beneath the Sumerian ziggurat revealed ritual diagrams matching those found in the prophecy tablets. But instead of depicting chaos, they appear to show mechanisms of control, levers of governance, iconography of law, and cosmological calendars designed to shape behavior. Dr. Reinhardt's final notes, recovered from his former assistant in 2021, hinted at a deeper interpretation. The prophecy was not forecasting disaster. It was prescribing it, a blueprint to reset civilization, passed in secret through elite societies and mystery schools across time. Symbols from the tablets are now used in military unit insignias, banking architecture, and digital security protocols. What began as myth may now operate as method. So, we must ask, are we victims of fate, or disciples of design? Too old to question. The final verses of the ancient tablets speak not of destruction, but of what rises after. When the veil is ash and the kings are dust, it reads, "The child of no name shall build from silence." This mysterious figure, the child of no name, is a recurring enigma. Unlike the twin kings, this entity is not defined by conflict, but by remembrance and reconstruction. Some interpret as a metaphor for the rebirth of humanity through forgotten wisdom. Others believe it hints at a coming leader, forged not in power, but in anonymity. Modern esoteric circles have embraced this idea, suggesting that the fulfillment of prophecy is not an end, but a reset, a chance to choose differently. In 2023, a cultural movement known as the Quiet Dawn emerged across digital forums. It calls for rediscovery of ancient knowledge, sacred balance, and truths buried under millennia of dogma. Their symbol? A blank circle, the forgotten name, waiting to be filled by deeds, not words. So, if the prophecy is unfolded, what now? The answer, it seems, is not written in stone, but etched in the choices of those who remember.